Hi, everybody. Tim Lautzenheiser here. Backstage is with you again. We've been off the calendar for a little bit because of Conn-Selmer Institute Connect, which ended up being phenomenal. You know, so we're back, and I've got a couple of people I want you to meet. Very important people, by the way. During this pandemic time, you know, we need to lock arms, be together. And if there's ever a time that industry and education needs to snuggle up against one another, this is it. It's a great thing that says it's our likenesses that bring us together, but it's our differences that keep us together. And we're very fortunate at Conn-Selmer, as you well know. We have a huge division of education, and it's being amplified and fueled each and every day because of your loyalty. Our new president, Steve Zapf, has been behind us 1,000%. And I'm going to let him share some really important information with you. So, Steve, it is all yours, my friend. Take it away.
Tim, thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it very much. We had the chance to all meet during CSI, and I had a chance to meet many of you all virtually during that terrific program that our team put together. I'm very proud of that. And at the end of it, we announced the Conn-Selmer Stimulus Program, which has received well over 1,000 inquiries, and we appreciate that. And some of them have been, well, can you tell us more about it? And so we thought we'd take this opportunity to quickly explain why we're doing it and what it is. Mike Kamphuis will follow me, and he'll have more of the specifics about how it works and some examples. But broadly speaking, why are we doing this? We know that right now schools need every bit of assistance that we can possibly provide to make music education accessible in the new COVID environment. We know that NAFME has come out with guidance in their fall guidance for 2020 music education, recommending that musical instruments are not shared by students. And we know that many background instruments, French horns, baritone horns, tubas, and the like, are frequently school-owned instruments that are shared. And we also recognize these are not inexpensive purchases for most districts. So we have a bit of a conundrum, and it's up to us to step in and make it more accessible. And that's what the stimulus program is all about. Bridging the gap between whatever budget you have and the need that you have in this new environment to have more musical instruments. And we have pledged to invest at least $1 million in funds bridging that gap. And I believe we're well on our way to those commitments already. So it's the right thing to do for us to support music education, and it's the right thing to do for a company like ours, which makes great horns and supports music education. These are two of our fundamental tenets. Another tenet that we have is that we are an American company, and we employ hundreds of people in the US, and we employed hundreds more people pre-COVID than we do today. So we have an opportunity, quite frankly, for a win-win with the music education community and with Conn-Selmer. By choosing Conn-Selmer horns, you help us put more American workers back to work. We are taxpayers in your local communities. Our workers pay taxes to the US government and support the overall US economy. This is incredibly important in an environment where over 40 million Americans are out of work right now. So by partnering with Conn-Selmer, you help us bring our team back to work that in turn supports you and gets America healthier more quickly. The other thing that we have the opportunity to do here is basically make the investment on our nickel, if you will. So in a normal world, we have requirements to make a certain amount of profit on these background horns. And we're basically cutting that away and cutting it to the bone in order to invest in your programs at the most affordable prices ever. Because quite frankly, if we're just covering our costs, but I can bring my people back to work and you can get instruments in your community to support your music education, I consider that a huge win-win. And it's the right thing to do for your programs. It's the right thing to do for Conn-Selmer. And I hope you would support the notion that it's the right thing to do for the American economy as well. it's all part of a partnership that we believe we have with you and with music educators across the country. And we thank you for the opportunity to work with Conn-Selmer, where we really are building the greatest horns in the world right here in Elkhart, Indiana, where we have 3 manufacturing plants for woodwinds, for brass instruments, and the Musser percussion factory is located there. In Eastlake, Ohio, which is right outside of Cleveland, Ohio, where we build all the great French horns, marching, baritones, euphoniums, tubas, sousaphones, and finally another large facility in Monroe, North Carolina, where we build all the Ludwig line of percussion that you're familiar with in the school world. Thank you for supporting us. Please reach out. Mike will tell you how we're going to do that so that we can help invest in you and we can get healthy as a country more quickly. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We really appreciate the opportunity to have this stimulus program in these times that we're in right now, as many states are coming out with their plans on back to school. As Mr. Zapf had mentioned in regards to the NAFME, National Federation of High School study, that came out with back to school recommendations, the sharing of instruments is something that needs to be taken in consideration for all teachers this fall. The CARES Act is one thing that we're seeing many districts take advantage of with the funding that is being put out in support of COVID-19 and supporting the distribution of funds to make sure students can access the needs that they have for different programs within school districts, including instrumental music education. We've received literally hundreds of requests since this program is launched June 12th. We've authorized now over $400,000 in proposals of stimulus funds in support of programs thus far. So please know that the Division of Education team, we're plugged in, ready and willing to help. And I want to make sure that everyone's clear on how to get proposals for their administration to access, whether it's CARES Act funding or to help supplement your budgets in regards to the funding that you're getting now. A good example that I had recently, a district a few weeks ago approached us. They have a need because they have multiple students sharing tubas. They have about 3 to 4 kids sharing 1 tuba each. So they're at a point where they need to get 6 to 8 tubas. Overall, they had a budget of about $70,000, and the overall need for that district is about $102,000. And through this stimulus program, we're able to effectively bridge that gap to help that district get the extra instruments that are needed to help with those students that are currently sharing instruments. That's one example. In addition, we're able to help subsidize also professional development. For those of you that attended CSI Connect, it was a tremendous experience for us to put that together and have over 2,000 people with us. We have also the ability to help subsidize any professional development costs you might have through our stimulus program as well, which I think is an important addition to note. So to access this ever important program for your schools right now, there's a few easy ways to do it. As Mr. Zapf had mentioned, you have your local school music dealer to go to, which are critical folks that service the local markets. We also have an email address that will get you to our sales engineers at the Division of Education to help put these pieces together. And that email address is education@conn-selmer.com. And we also have basically a red phone or an easy 877 number for you to get a hold of us as well between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That phone number is 877-534-4299, and our team will get back to you that same day, and we'll begin the process of putting together your plan for the district to make sure that all students have access to a great music education this fall in using this stimulus program. So again, we thank you for the opportunity to help support your program, to support the employees of Conn-Selmer, and we look forward to servicing music educators all across our great country. So Tim, with that, I will turn it back to you, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Steve. And thanks to all of you for checking in. I'm going to ask a question of our two guests because we're certainly living in some unusual times. And it's most important for all of us to make sure that music is still accessible to students, and parents have lots of concerns. And by doing this, I think what we're going to do is open up opportunities that may have not been there before. So, Steve, I'll go to you first. How important is it that we bring this together, both as manufacturers and as the Division of Education, bringing this to the table for the people? Talk to us, friend.
Well, obviously, Tim, it's incredibly important to foster a return to music education. We know all of the cognitive and social developmental benefits of music, and we need to do our part in making sure that we get back to that pre-COVID state. And frankly, whatever we can do to grow beyond that is even better for kids and for communities at large. And we need to recognize that there isn't quite as much money to go around right now as there was before, due to the overall economic conditions and the unemployment numbers I referenced before. And it's our obligation to help support music education and make it more accessible in this environment.
Absolutely. And it's going to take everybody ponying up a little bit in every way. And this is our way of doing it. And my friend Mike Kamphuis, who works 28 hours a day and then feels bad because he can't work more. Mike, tell us how you feel about taking both of these engines and turning them wide open. Do you see any opportunities there that might not be in the regular situations?
Oh, absolutely. This is giving us the freedom to think creatively with our educators in regards to how we can better provide access during these unique times. And as we partner together with the stimulus program, as well as partnering together from an advocacy standpoint, I think we're locking arms in a couple different ways. And what this really helps with is the dialogue between educators and their administration as to here's a company who can help support the needs and get us more than what we originally intended, which is very unique during these times. It also helps them have some ammunition to go to the administrations during these COVID-19 times with something that's of substance that can really help create more access for the students. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this piece as well, but as we're all going through the funding issues of the new fiscal year, it's a more critical time than ever for us to lock arms from an advocacy standpoint to make sure that we're at the table talking about music education with the districts and not waiting for them to make their decisions, because they will make decisions with or without us. And we need to make sure that with this ammunition, we're having these all important discussions about the importance of social emotional learning and instrumental music education together with the school districts to make sure that we're not left behind one bit. So this is just an opportunity to take this program in particular, use it as an advocacy tool as well, and make sure we can provide for the students of tomorrow. So,
Mike, that's great. I think I'm pretty lucky to get to work with these guys, don't you? You bet I am. So there's a great phrase that says, the pessimist sees the challenge in every opportunity, and the optimist sees the opportunity in every challenge. And we're here with you. You can count on that. And I'm so blessed to get to work with people who are optimists for sure. And optimum is we're going to do this with you, and it's going to be best for all of music education. Thank you. Thanks to my two wonderful guests. See you next time on Backstage. Strike up the band.